I just realized I've been muted this whole time. Well, that's horrible. Ah. That's a 28-point candle. We get a break here. I'm gonna take it. See if we get a little push up. One contract only, because this is a little bit of a large space here, and I've got to give it to the bottom of this candle. So, and I don't even really need it to get too terribly high. So a little push up here would be awesome. That's no good. Wow. Okay. $600. Oof. I'm gonna take that text off of there because that's just a little distracting. Probably should have kept my stop a little bit tighter. Should have just trailed the candles there. That would have saved me 12 points. Ooh, straight back down though. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's go. I want to see if we get some follow through here. Man, that's rough. I think I had my daily loss limit on those accounts already. I did. Bummer. Because I think it's still going to come down. I do. What I didn't recognize here was these inside wicks, right? Boom, that's an inside wick, which got retested. Do you think we get some follow through here? What happens. Although we are coming off the red line, so we tap the red line, stochastics are oversold, and so that would tend to be more bullish. But we popped up here, we took all this out and immediately sold straight back down. So kind of curious to see what happens here. Boy, that was rough. 2 quick losses on trades that I kind of like. Oh, that's how it goes sometimes. I'm glad I only took 1 contract. Otherwise, it would have been a little bit worse. Well, if I'd have done 2 contracts, I would have been out. Would have been done after that first trade. Yeah, see, there it goes. So literally, literally like 1 point away, and then boom, it failed. So was correct, but timing was off. All right, give me just a sec. I'll be right back. All right, we're headed down towards the low of day down there. I'm gonna switch over to a sim account here just so I can practice trading. Daily loss limit hit in both accounts. Big old red circle. That's all right. We had 2 strong green days, so 1 red day is not the end of the world. All right, we have a pretty strong bullet or bearish candle on the last 5-minute bar. Obviously, strong push down. Now we're kind of hesitating a little bit. Stochastic is oversold down here. That was a really nice divergence pre-market right here. Super nice divergence. Little 20-point pop there. A 52-point candle and straight back down. Wildness. So going back and looking at these 2 trades that I took, obviously this one, the second one would have worked, but it did stop me out right at the back. It did come up above that prior candle just a little bit and then came down. So I was in at the wrong spot to go short here. So that worked, but my stop, it just took out my stop before it went down. This one came down. The thing that, I don't know, I think I would have taken this again. I mean, we're off the top of a trend line. We had a little reversal candle going on. We have a green line. The only piece of confirmation that was not here was the stochastic. The stochastic was still kind of up in the top of the range. And so, you know, ideally to go long, we'd want it in the bottom of the range. And so that's the reason why that one was, you know, not A++, but still, I think a trade I would take again. Big mistake here was not trailing my stop. If I'd have trailed my stop with the candle, I would have saved myself quite a bit, actually. And it would have been, well, I'd still be in it if that was the case. So that's the note to self on that trade. Note to self on this one is, remember those inside wicks go both ways. For some reason, when the trend is up, I see those inside wicks a little clearer. When it's coming down, it's less obvious to me for some reason. There's no reason it wouldn't be obvious, but for some reason I just don't see it quite as clearly. And so if I'd recognize that, obviously we'd want to wait and see if that was retested, and then, you know, the next candle confirms the retest. So yeah, if we break lower from there, then you're probably good to go. So got a huge long wick on the top of the current 1 hour candle. All right, we're gonna bounce here. We're gonna jump in. We can get something out of this guy. Ooh, I don't like that wick. Come on. Let's go. That's a lot of hesitation. Not loving it. Not loving it. Get it? All right, there we go. And still going. Doing a little sim trading here. All right, so it looks like we had kind of two fake outs going on here, right? We had the initial push, a pullback, and now we're pushing up. So if we can get a break out of this 15-minute range, that would be really nice. Maybe push up towards, you know, these lows of days from yesterday. We have a low of day from yesterday as well as yesterday's overnight open up here. And if pointed this out right at the beginning, that we have these highs up here, which if it starts to take out these highs, it could just run all the way up here. Interesting that this high push at the open did not break this, right? It kind of came right up into that same wick area. It's hard to see. I can frame it a little better here. Right there. So looking at this high, and we wicked right up to that level again, and then shot back down. So we left this. So if we take out this high, I kind of wonder if it cascades up a little bit. But it could just do the same thing, just wick up a little bit, straight back down, wick up a little bit, straight back down. Love to kind of see what that reaction looks like when we get there. Little battle going on right here. Wicks on the tops and bottoms of candles. Stochastics over bought by quite a bit, curling over. We can get a little pullback to that 21 EMA. Might be able to find an entry for a long.
Battle continues right here. Right now I'm trading a sim account. I hit the daily loss limit of my 3 Apex accounts. Got a stop out here on the first trade. I went long, stopped out. And then here I was looking for a short, which did work, but not until it, or not before, it reached up here, stopped me out, and then continued lower. So a little bit of a bad entry on that one, but the idea was right. I just did not recognize that inside wick and give it room to retest before confirming the short. So I guess that makes it a bad entry, right? If you get in too early before confirmation, that would be a bad entry. So it is what it is. And then the next trade was just a continuation off of this momentum up, a little bit more speculative, but after we'd broken these highs, that's kind of what I was looking at, and it worked. So, gonna wait and see if I can get another one here. See if we can pick up enough momentum to break through the 15-minute range. I think if we break out of that 15-minute range, we've got some wicks up here. So there's some liquidity sitting up here at all these levels. So if we break through here, we could generate some momentum to the upside. The other alternative is it peaks above like it did here just a little bit and then rips back. And peaks above a little bit and rips back. So we'll see what it wants to do and see if we're going to be taking continuation trades or if we're going to be taking rejections. If it ever gets to the top of that open range. Doesn't seem to be too enthusiastic about getting there. Inside bar. All right, there we go. What it wants to do. We're gonna accelerate higher. We have yesterday's low of day sitting up there. We've got yesterday's overnight open sitting up there. And all that liquidity to the right or to the left of us, which we are taking out. So we took out, look at these levels, we took out this one here, took out this one here. Oh, next up is this guy, then this guy, then this guy, which this one right here was exactly at yesterday's low of day. I would not be surprised to see us get there. Question is, how are we going to get there? And at this point, I would need a little bit of a pullback before I tried something. And depending on how we get up there, oh, see, there it goes, blast through. See, once we start to take out these levels, there's the possibility you get some acceleration. There's all these stops, probably, if you're short, you have your stop maybe behind one of these highs. So there's all these stops, and once the stops start to get triggered, it just cascades up and then hits the next group. And there, so you see we wick just slightly above that one. You got a pretty strong pullback. It was a 38-point candle from, let's see, this wick is 17 points. I'm trying to decide when I want to go short. See if we can take a little scalp here at some point. Let's try this. It's probably not wise. This is okay. There's an inside bar. I do not like inside bars on strong uptrends. Often you get a follow through from them. Let's see if we can get a little pullback here. I'm gonna jump out of this unless it just shoots down here. We get a little bit. Actually, I'm just gonna. It keeps like giving me hope here. It keeps sort of trying to come lower. Yeah, see the problem is we'll just save a little bit. So the problem is it took out the bottom of that inside bar and then went up. So that's, if you're looking to short, that's not what you want to see. I want to get these executions off here. They're cluttering my screen. I don't like it. At this point, I'm going to wait for a deeper pullback and take a long. Oh, okay. Ah, tried to move it. Didn't work. So I just took the break of that candle. I wanted to, said I was waiting for a deeper pullback, but it wasn't really pulling back. Took out the low of those candles twice, and then boom, that's where we got the pop. Continued momentum up. All right, so last time we were at this level, we came way back down, right? We had worked our way all the way up here, and then whoop, that sent us much further down. So if we hold up here, this could be, we may just continue. I mean, the next level would be these wicks up here. And then from there, there's not much holding back till way up here, so we could get a wick up into this kind of no man's land area. What happens? Strong bullish bars on the 5 and the 15, obviously. Alright, see, this is where I would consider a short if we get a nice reversal candle and the stochastics all start to curl over. But it's a strong uptrend, so it is a little bit higher risk just because oftentimes that trend can overpower everything. All right, so now we're working up into that no man's land. Oops. Yep, we're up there now. want to see how this candle forms. Anywhere up here, if we get a long top wick and a rejection straight back down, I would consider shorting that for a scalp. Otherwise, we'll wait for a cleaner pullback. I want to see if I have anything on the higher time frames that so there's that long wick that I like. Let's see how it closes. It is kind of a bigger candle. This is going to be probably a 30-point candle. Just a little bit down. There you go. Come on, push down. One more push. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so waiting. So this trade compared to the prior attempt at a reversal, this had much more of a rejection signature from this long wick, small body, long wick on the top. So more likely that it pulls down, although the stop on this one was a little more than I probably would have taken in a regular account. The other thing that I saw there was we were rejecting a fair value gap on the 1 hour chart. So if you look at the 1 hour chart, on this strong push down, we had giant fair value gap here. Giant gap here. And then we had a smaller gap. So on this push up, if you mark off all of these gaps that were created on the way down, there's a gap here, there's a gap here, there's a gap here. And then there's a gap here. Now this candle, this last 1 hour candle, inverted both of these things. It blew through the first one, it blew through this one, which had already been basically invalidated from this price. The price had already been through it. And then we came up and it stopped right here. And then we got that wick above and showed some hesitation and a little bit of rejection. So that was sort of my higher time frame bias or confirmation, I guess, that went with this short here. Of course, now ready to go the other way because we're bouncing off of our green line. The problem is, I don't know, we've got the green line, we've got yesterday's low of day. Stochastic is kind of in no man's land, which is not my favorite. And you can see we got a little wick above there and then it's pulling back. So another fake out on the green line, maybe. As we continue to respect this gap here. So over here on the green line, you can see, touch the green line. We do have a reversal candle, but then this next candle wicks up and pulls back. So that's the same thing we saw here. I'm a little hesitant to take a continuation at this spot. Not to say it can't happen, can't work, but it's already bit me once today, so. Okay. So we got a deeper wick. Our Slurco stochastics are still overbought up here. So that faster stochastic may not make it all the way down. We got some reaction, so let's give it a shot. We get a break. Nope, we did, but it didn't fill me. It moved through too fast. It's a bummer. I wait for it to come back down. Nope. Whoosh. It's the risk with using a stop order is sometimes your stop order doesn't get filled. The risk with using a market order is sometimes it can get filled at a very, I guess, bad place, not optimally filled. All right, so here we are. Now we're blasting through. If you can picture that gap on the 1 hour chart that's right in here, we blasted through that. Now we're reaching up to the next one. Also, I would say this is probably the next line up here where this wick is. See around my microphone. There we go. Yeah, I would say this line up here is probably the next kind of logical level that it's going to probably reach for. And that was a strong 1 minute candle right there. I might take a continuation if this continues. No, we'll wait. Setting up an inside bar, so let's do that. See what happens. We have to be careful because this could be setting up a short divergence if it doesn't pop here. So that's kind of the yellow light in this whole scenario. All right, so we wick below that inside bar. See if we pull up a little bit. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna just let that ride for a second. I'll be back. All right, well, this is... The gold line on the stochastic is showing a divergence. But the other two lines are still strongly in the overbought area, so probably gonna get a little choppy up here. I'm going to go with continuation as being the likely outcome here, considering we're wicking down, getting wicks on the bottoms of these candles, but that's about it. I kind of don't want to take the first test up there. Okay. There it goes. Okay. See how this plays out. There it goes. So I didn't want to get in right away when it broke above that high in case it did what it's been doing before. But it broke and held, and so figured let's jump in and give it a try. We're going with the trend, so the trend is your friend. All right, this is where the divergence could come into play because we wicked up here. Let's see. So we have a high here on the chart. We're oversold or overbought. High on the chart, overbought stochastic. Then relative to that, because this isn't really a reaction, we came up here, we held, and this wick is the reaction, and stochastic is coming down. So my inclination actually is to short this. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to wait and see what happens. It's not quite as clean. I mean, there's kind of a lot going on here. So overall, I see a short, but it's kind of a messier one. Well, there's another inside bar. Let's see how this inside bar is treated. All right, we see we wicked above it this time. Now we're holding. So I'm gonna take a short with my stop above that. Let's see if we get a little bit of a... Kind of want to see if it pulls down further this time. We're still very much uptrending, and this is sort of a consolidation area. So this is high risk. But my stop area is fairly limited. I have about a 15-point stop, so that's... It's lower probability, I suppose, but it also is a little lower risk than some of the other ones. There, it's got to push down here. It's too much hesitation. I don't like it. Do not like it. I give this just a little bit above that wick, just in case. Come on. There we go. Continue, please. Continue, please. All right, this is go time. It's now or never. Might be never. Come on. Yeah, this is too much hesitation, man. What you gonna do, Nasdaq? Tighten up my stop a little bit. Yeah, I do not think this is gonna work.
Nope. No bueno. What does that even mean, no bueno? I say it all the time and I'm not even 100% sure what it means. So that's the risk with taking low probability trades. Is even if your risk is limited, you know, there's a higher probability that you'll hit that risk. So you got to make the calculation. What do you want to do? All right, continuing up. All right, did we take out that next level? Nope. All right, so we took out those candle highs right there. These ones over here. So if we have a nice long wick on top of this candle right here, I might short this guy and hold it till we come all the way back down. Is that stupid? It's a 47-point candle. I'm gonna risk it. This is very risky. I'm gonna give it a little bit of room. I'm gonna see if it comes down here. Maybe I just want this reversal too bad. That could be my downfall. Wah, wah, wah. Well, this is just a slow grind up. My problem is my bias is telling me that this is going to turn around up here at some point. But what often happens is you end up trying to short that trend, and if you're wrong enough, then even if it does turn around eventually, you're blown up by the time it does.
So we are definitely on an uptrend. I mean, this trade right here was probably the nicest trade, honestly, of the day. We have a high, we have a nice sort of smooth pullback, and then it rolls around. The trick to this one is waiting for that second deep retest here. That's kind of that's your clue. We had a little bit of a reversal candle here, but then it would have got you in if you had your entry right there. A stop right below the entry candle would have stopped you out, and then it went in, and then it continues up. So that's why, and that happened over here. I got suckered into this green line trade over here, which failed. We were more patient on this one here, and it worked perfectly because we waited for that second retest. Now it's possible it just kind of goes and you miss the trade. That's always an option, or always a possibility, but what's better, waiting for extra confirmation so you can have a higher probability of being right, or don't wait for that extra confirmation, have a higher probability of being wrong, but hey, if it does go, you won't miss it. Those are the calculations you have to make. All right, so what do we do here? This is a very choppy upward grind. I'm going to, oh, I should have done. Hold on. I jumped into this one too quickly. So we're going with the trend, but what I should have done is waited for one end of this inside bar to be broken. So I saw the, yeah. Yeah. So that, I should have got out of that, because once I got into it, I realized my mistake. So I want to wait for this inside bar to be broken, either on the top or the bottom. So see how we're being broken on the bottom. And now, if I wanted to go long, now would be a better time is to wait for a break of a candle long at this level versus getting in the middle and then hoping it goes the way that I want it to go. The beauty of sim trading. Playing with my connections here. All right, I think I might play with a take profit evaluation account. That's what I'm gonna do. Why is my chart frozen? Nothing's happening. I don't know why this 1 minute chart gets so like anything I do locks it up. It's so strange. None of my other charts are locked up. Just this one. I wonder what happens if I change like to ES. Nothing. All right, let me try disconnecting and reconnecting. There it goes. Whoa. I think I'm missing something there though. Maybe not. Okay. Play with the take profit account, shall we? All right, so there's so up here, the one time I say, well, I'm going to go ahead with the continuation. I'm going to go long because we're going up. And that's when it turns around. Gotta love that. All right. So unfortunately, we're probably retesting this to come down, but I'm going to go with a tap of the 21 EMA, oversold, open now, straight down. Yeah, let's wait a second. I'm going to give it room. It's an eval account. If I blow it up the first try, then we'll just go again. Big wick on that candle. Is that an inside wick? It's going to get retested right up to my entry point and then turn around again. So this is between 10 and 10:30, so this could be kind of a little reversal here. We've been strongly moving up for a while. Back up to my entry. What happens here? Now I'll move my stop below that wick. There's no trailing drawdown on these accounts, so going in a little heavier just to see if we get lucky, I guess is what we're doing. At this point, my stop doesn't matter. My stop, the account's going to be blown up right at about that level, so oops. So if price comes down to the bottom of this candle, then the account will be toast. I don't like how this looks like this could be setting up a little bit of a bear flag here. Strong push up, we had a little leg down, now we're getting some consolidation, so another leg down is not unlikely. Let's see what happens. No! And that's exactly what's happening. It's kind of what I like doing with these evaluation accounts is they're kind of all or nothing. So take profit takes 5 days to pass, and so in these $150,000 accounts, you can make $4,500 maximum in a day in order to abide by the consistency rule. And so that's kind of what I'd like to try and do, is hit that $4,500 on day one, and then that just makes it a lot easier for the remaining 4 days you have to trade it. Okay. So we got a deeper retest. See, no candle breaks. This one broke the high, and then we got a deeper retest, and now we're pushing up. I kind of think, let's see what happens. Obviously the entry spot would have been down here, so it already moved, you know, almost 20 points off of that entry. Let's see if it has any willingness to move back up one more time. Okay, and there's our $4,000. So now I can add another account to what we're playing with. So hopefully that entry was pretty obvious. Even though this candle here, I mean, it had kind of a top wick, we were getting, you know, overall, this is down and then up. So, you know, a lot of times that's the trick to this whole thing, is waiting for these, you know, sort of clear signals. I think all of the trades, let me bounce over here, see if I can do a little recap. Show trades that we're taking. We'll do text down marker. Yeah, this isn't all of them because I was taking some on a different account. So this guy here, so we talked about this one where I got ticked in and then stopped out. Is what it is. This one I got in too early, got stopped out right before it turned around and went in my favor. We took a winner here just on some momentum. What were these ones? Entry and target. So this was some more, I don't know what this was. This was just a momentum thing, I guess. Another momentum thing. Actually, this second entry here was the better entry. There was no logic to this entry. Entry, target. Would have almost thought that would have been a short, but I didn't take a short there. I took a long. Didn't I take a, I thought I took a short right there. Am I going crazy? Says I hit the target. So I entered, I hit the target. We entered here on a break of this kind of consolidation. Hit the target again. Took a short after this long wick. Hit the target. Which again, the targets are pretty arbitrary. I think I have them set at 15 points. So I think this one did go the full 15 points. Otherwise, oftentimes I just take my profits after some kind of an impulsive move. What I don't have, what I can't picture, actually here's, let's do this. But no, can I do? Oh, there we go. This will show everything, regardless of what account it was taken in. This is my nonsense this morning. So I want to point out where I took bad trades that didn't work, and then, you know, instead of waiting for the super easy ones that did work. So here we have another You know, this is a bull flag, right? A little sideways consolidation after a big push up, took a long, hit the target. Oh my gosh, and we were just still blasting up. This one I entered a short, tried to take a short here, didn't work. Entry stop, I tried to take another short, didn't work. And this is where trying to short everything in choppiness, trying to guess which direction it's go while price is ultimately going sideways is just never a good thing to do. We entered here on a long in the middle of an inside bar, which is just really makes no sense at all. At the very least, you should have got in after a break of the inside bar, whether you're going long or short. Stopped out. This one, I'm not sure what's going on here. Entry. I think I was adding to my position, so I don't even know what we did here. I think I tried to get in here, got stopped out, re-entered, and it worked. So again, the lesson is wait for stuff to be clear. If it's not clear, stay out of it. Oh my gosh. Man, look at this smooth pullback and poof. All right, I guess we're just gonna go to the moon. Look at that. Yes, daily high right there. That's crazy. Well, hopefully somebody was in that. I'm sure somebody was. Somebody's gonna be posting how they made $150,000 today. Because somebody took a long down here. You know somebody did. And they just held it and said, I think we're gonna just come all the way back up. For whatever reason. They thought that it would, and it did. And you know, honestly, if you just zoom out at this and you look, all right, so let's zoom out and look at this. Where were the really nice signals that it was going along? It was always after multiple candles in a smooth pullback. Multiple candles, smooth pullback to some support. Boop. Multiple candles, smooth pullback to support. Boop. We did have upward movements in a couple places after very, you know, sideways consolidation. But the really obvious ones was this one here and this one here. And they both would have worked out. This one took 2 minutes before it exploded. This one, boom, popped. And in fairness, I did have an order right here. I would have got into this one, except it jumped over my order. So that's it. All right, well, I'm going to call it for the day, for the week. And no stream tomorrow. No New York session tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow. I think it's a bank holiday, so anything that happens pre-market might be kind of choppy, but, you know, people trade it. It can be done. Just be cautious. So until